Hey everybody, welcome to Mentorship Friday. I'm Laurie Ruettimann. This week, one of my mentees wanted to know, how can I be a top employer? How can I really create an environment, an atmosphere where people want to come to work and do meaningful work and feel like they're making a contribution? That's the age-old existential question for every entrepreneur, every leader, anybody who is building something. They don't want to build a crappy work environment. They want to build something amazing. And based on what I've seen and what the data says, there are 3 areas that everybody can focus on to really build an environment where they can be proud to work. If you want to be a top employer, the first thing you can focus on is the actual work that's being done. Back in 2019, nearly 200 CEOs came together with the Business Roundtable, which is America's largest lobbying association, and they said, we really need to rethink the world of work. Instead of having people work solely to create shareholder value, which is that old 1990s term that people used to use, the purpose of a corporation needs to change. Yes, we need to drive shareholder value, of course, but we need to deliver value to customers. We need to invest in employees. We need to deal fairly and ethically with our suppliers, and we need to support communities and the planet. When the purpose of a corporation changes, the purpose of work changes. The type of work you do changes. The reason behind what you do also changes. And it also opens up a discussion for the quality of work. Are you working just to make a small group of people wealthy? Or are you working to contribute, to give back to the community, to create jobs that actually mean something? Top employers are thinking about what the work is, why the work happens, and who the work is for. I think it's kind of cool that pleasing shareholders is no longer the be-all, end-all aim of a corporation. I think it's revolutionary. And I'm not one to normally pat CEOs on the back, but the Business Roundtable is absolutely onto something. Top employers don't just think about work. They also think about people. And there is a lot to think about. There are 5 distinct generations in the workforce. And frankly, all of them are sick of the toxic work environment. There's artificial intelligence and automation that are really, truly coming for humans and their jobs. And there's this always on modern way of work that's just exhausting all of us. Top employers are thinking about all of those issues from a human-centered approach. They equate the work experience to the consumer experience, and they recognize that employees can spend their time and attention in so many different places, and they fight for the time and the attention of the employee by creating ethical, humane, interesting, compelling, compassionate, empathetic work environments. They enrich people by focusing on what I like to call the employee experience quadrant. They really think about physically what it's like to work at my company, mentally, what do employees go through, relationally, who can they connect with, how do they make sure they're not isolated, and then financially, how do we make sure that this work that they're doing is worthwhile and pays what it should pay? Top employers are really thinking about work differently. And they know that when you improve the lives of the people who work in your organization, you are directly and clearly contributing to a better world, not just a better world of work. Finally, top employers are all about corporate social responsibility, and not because it's trendy, but because it's the right thing to do. Corporate social responsibility historically referred to philanthropy, but now in 2020 means philanthropy of the community, of the heart, of the human spirit, of the planet. So it covers things like diversity, inclusion, equity, and belonging. How you lead inside matters outside the company. When you lead with heart and purpose, you attract the right talent, you keep them engaged, you maintain their high performance, you develop them into leaders of tomorrow, and you deploy them into the community to change the world. That's what top employers are doing. So corporate social responsibility isn't just a one-off program. It's literally woven into the fabric of the best organizations out there. All right. I know that was a lot. I know. Your brain is probably like, what? What was all that? If you want to be a top employer, you need to think about the work that you're asking people to do. Then you need to think about the people who are doing it, and you need to think about the community where your work happens, where your company exists. Think about the acronym WPS, Work, People, Society. Work, People, Society. That's it. Want to be a top employer? You think about the work that you ask people to do, think about the people who do the work, and think about society. It's just that easy. I know it's not easy, but that's why you do what you do. That's why you're up for the challenge. And that's why you asked me to be your mentor. Well, not you, but my mentees do. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Mentorship Friday, and we'll see you next time on Let's Fix Work.